Welcome to the Deep Dive Anatomy podcast.
It's going to be a good one.
Today, we're all about the heart.
Yeah.
Obviously, a pretty key topic for all you future doctors out there.
Right.
We're going to try to explore the mechanics of this incredible organ
Yeah.
and bring it to life,
Yeah,
even more vividly than those anatomy atlases you're poring over.
for sure.
Before we jump in, though,
Yes.
don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the Deep Dive channel for more fascinating deep dives, just like this one.
It's fascinating to think about how long the heart was shrouded in mystery. Like, even feeling its beat every second,
Right.
people still struggled to understand what it was actually doing.
That really makes you appreciate how far medical science has come. I mean, we're talking about a time when even someone like Leonardo da Vinci,
Right.
a genius of the Renaissance,
Absolutely.
couldn't fully grasp the heart's work.
Exactly. The challenges were immense. Like, imagine trying to study this intricate machine that's constantly in motion.
Right.
You can't really open it up to examine its inner workings because, well, that
Right.
tends to stop it permanently.
That definitely complicates things.
Yeah.
So how did early anatomists even begin to understand the heart?
I mean, they had to rely on what they could observe.
Right.
They meticulously studied the external features and traced the paths of the blood vessels,
Well,
created detailed drawings and models.
okay.
But without the ability to directly observe the heart in action,
Yeah.
their understanding remained limited.
It's almost like trying to understand how a car engine works
Yeah.
just by looking at the outside.
Yeah.
You might get a sense of the basic components,
Right.
but you totally miss the intricacies
Right.
of how it all comes together
Yeah.
to generate power.
Precisely. And this limited understanding
Yeah.
led to some oversimplifications.
Okay.
For instance, the traditional view of the heart as
Yeah.
simply a four-chambered organ
Mhm.
with a dual circulation system
Okay.
doesn't quite capture the full picture.
So what's the missing piece of the puzzle?
It's the realization that mammalian circulation
Okay.
is actually more like a figure-8 pattern. It's not just blood going back and forth between the heart and the lungs.
Okay.
There's a much more intricate dance happening.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Break down this figure-8 circulation for me.
Think of it as two pumps working in tandem.
Okay.
The first pump, the right side of the heart, sends deoxygenated blood to the lungs to pick up oxygen.
Okay.
Then that oxygen-rich blood returns to the heart.
Yeah.
But this time to the left side, the second pump. This second pump then propels
Okay.
the oxygenated blood out to the rest of the body, delivering vital nutrients and oxygen to every cell. Finally, this blood, now depleted of oxygen, returns to the right side of the heart,
Okay.
completing the figure-8 loop
Yeah.
and starting the journey anew.
This figure-8 model definitely paints a more dynamic picture than the simple back-and-forth idea.
Yeah.
But what makes this distinction so important for us as medical students?
Well, this figure-8 design isn't just a cool anatomical quirk.
Right.
It's the key to the heart's incredible efficiency. By separating the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood,
Yeah.
the heart can maintain higher pressure in the systemic circulation, the part that sends blood to the body.
Okay.
This ensures that oxygen and nutrients reach even the most distant tissues effectively.
That makes perfect sense. So it's not just about the pathway of blood flow.
Right.
It's about optimizing the delivery of oxygen throughout the entire body.
Exactly. And this understanding of the figure-8 circulation is foundational
Okay.
to grasping more complex cardiac concepts. It's like learning your ABCs before tackling Shakespeare.
Now, speaking of getting a clearer picture of the heart,
Yeah.
I've heard that a simple experiment with a sheep heart
Oh, yeah.
can really bring these concepts to life.
Absolutely. There's nothing like hands-on experience to solidify your understanding of anatomy.
So let's walk our listeners through this experiment. Imagine you're in the anatomy lab, scalpel in hand, with a fresh sheep or pig heart right in front of you.
It's a classic anatomy lesson, but there's a twist that makes it even more insightful.
Okay.
You see, if you simply try to squeeze the intact heart underwater,
Yeah.
expecting it to pump like a textbook diagram, you'll be disappointed.
Why is that?
Because water doesn't behave exactly like blood, and the intricate network of chambers and valves
Right.
requires a specific flow pattern to function correctly.
So how do we modify the experiment to actually witness the heart's pumping mechanism in action?
So here's where it gets interesting. We need to simplify
Okay.
the heart's structure to focus on the key players, the ventricles,
Yeah.
and the major arteries.
So we're talking about removing some parts of the heart?
Exactly. We're going to carefully trim away the atria,
Okay.
leaving only the aorta and the pulmonary artery rising from the ventricles.
Okay. Why is getting rid of the atria so important for this experiment?
Well, the atrias are important, of course,
Right.
but they also have a lot of veins attached to them, making the whole setup visually complex.
Okay.
By removing them, we streamline the structure
Right.
and create a clearer path for observing the flow of water.
It's like we're clearing away the clutter
Yeah,
to get a better view of the engine, so to speak.
precisely.
Yeah.
Now, with our modified heart ready,
Okay.
we can start to see the magic happen. Picture this. You run water from a tap
Yeah.
directly into the right ventricle.
And this is where we actually see the pumping action.
You got it. As the ventricle fills with water,
Okay.
give it a gentle squeeze. You'll see a stream of water shoot out of the pulmonary artery, just like blood would be pumped towards the lungs in a living heart.
That's incredible. We're actually recreating the heart's pumping mechanism with this simple setup.
It really is remarkable, and if you look closely,
Yeah.
you can even see the valves in action.
Oh, wow.
The tricuspid valve guarding the entrance to the right ventricle and the mitral valve,
Right.
controlling flow into the left ventricle,
Yeah.
will open and close with each squeeze, ensuring that water flows in the correct direction.
It's like a perfectly choreographed dance of these delicate
Yeah,
yet strong valves.
exactly. They open to allow water to flow in, then close tightly
Right.
to prevent backflow when the ventricle contracts.
Uh-huh.
This precise control of flow is essential for efficient circulation.
So this experiment not only shows how the heart pumps,
Right.
but also highlights the critical role of the valves.
Precisely. And the beauty of this demonstration is that it helps us appreciate the heart's remarkable efficiency.
Okay.
When you're squeezing the ventricle, you'll notice that there's no leakage whatsoever. The valves create a perfect seal, ensuring that every drop of water or
Wow.
blood in a living heart is propelled forward with minimal wasted energy.
That's fascinating. I imagine this efficiency is crucial given the sheer volume of blood.
Yeah.
The heart pumps every minute, every hour, every day of our lives.
Absolutely. Think about it. The heart beats over 100,000 times a day,
Wow.
pumping around 2,000 gallons of blood. That kind of workload requires incredible durability and precision, and this simple experiment
Yeah.
helps us understand how the heart achieves that.
It's mind-boggling when you put it that way. Now, I know we've been focusing on the mechanical aspects
Right.
of the heart, but I'm curious, how does this understanding translate to a clinical setting?
Right.
How does it help us as future doctors?
That's a great question. Understanding the heart's mechanics
Yeah.
is the foundation for diagnosing and treating a wide range of cardiovascular conditions.
Okay.
Take heart murmurs, for example.
Huh?
By listening carefully to the sounds of the heart,
Right.
doctors can detect turbulent blood flow, often caused by valve problems.
So knowing how the valves are supposed to work
Right.
allows us to identify when they're not functioning properly.
Exactly. And once we identify the issue, we can utilize various diagnostic tools. It's like echocardiograms to visualize the heart's structure
Okay.
and function in real time. This helps us determine the severity of the problem
Right.
and guide treatment decisions.
This really emphasizes why having a solid grasp of anatomy
Oh, absolutely.
is so crucial for medical practice.
Absolutely. It's not just about memorizing names and locations.
Right.
It's about understanding how structure dictates function and how deviations from normal anatomy
Yeah.
can lead to disease.
Speaking of deviations from normal,
Yeah.
are there any other clinical examples that highlight the importance
Oh, yeah.
of understanding the heart's mechanics?
Oh, there are so many.
Like heart failure, for instance.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
Heart failure, in its simplest terms, occurs when the heart can't pump
Right.
blood effectively enough to meet the body's needs.
Okay.
Now, this can happen for various reasons. Sometimes it's due to weakened heart muscle, other times because a valve isn't working properly, and in some cases, it's a combination of factors.
So even though heart failure is a complex condition,
Right.
understanding the basic mechanics of the heart helps us pinpoint the underlying problem.
Precisely. By knowing how each component of the heart should be working,
Wow.
we can identify where the system is breaking down. This knowledge guides everything from diagnosis to treatment.
This deep dive is really making me appreciate how seemingly simple concepts,
Yeah.
like the figure-8 circulation and the function of the valves,
Right.
have profound implications in clinical medicine.
Absolutely. And this understanding goes beyond just treating diseases.
Yeah.
It also fuels innovation in medical technology.
Like how?
Take artificial heart valves, for example.
I've heard about those. They're literally lifesavers for
Yeah,
people with severe valve problems.
exactly. And the development of these devices wouldn't have been possible without a deep understanding of the heart's mechanics. Engineers had to study how natural valves work, how they open and close, how they withstand the constant pressure of blood flow, all to design artificial valves that could mimic those functions.
It's amazing to think that something as seemingly simple as cutting off the atria of a sheep heart,
Yeah,
like we talked about earlier,
right.
can spark such groundbreaking advancements.
It really highlights the power of scientific curiosity and the interconnectedness of knowledge. Sometimes the most profound discoveries come from the most basic experiments.
Well said. And that's what the deep dive is all about.
Right.
Taking complex topics and breaking them down into understandable and hopefully memorable pieces. We want to spark that same curiosity in all of you future doctors out there.
It's about fostering a sense of wonder and a deep appreciation for the incredible machine that is the human body.
Before we wrap up, I want to remind everyone to hit that like button and subscribe to the Deep Dive channel
Yes.
for more deep dives into all sorts of fascinating topics.
And as you continue your medical journey, remember that every heartbeat is a testament to the elegant design and incredible resilience of the human body.
What a perfect way to put it. A huge thank you to all of our listeners for joining us on this deep dive into the heart's mechanics. We hope you've gained a newfound appreciation for this vital organ.
Thank you for listening to the Deep Dive podcast.
Until next time, keep on learning.